taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree.
So I bought the ugliest, worst, cheapest four-wheeler I could find on Marketplace. This is a 2002 Yamaha Warrior 350. I don't know anything about it. I took the front plastic off and gave it a quick pressure wash so I could start looking and seeing what it's going to need. Looks like it's going to need ignition. I don't have the key. I'm just going to need front brake. I don't know what's going on there. They got it wired on. Carburetor needs work. Throttle doesn't move. Let's check the front brake. Now that brake seems to be working. It does shift through the gears, and I can roll it, and it seems like there's compression. The piston move is not locked up. It's got the original Mikuni carb. There's not sure what's going on there for the rear caliper. It's like tape, rubber that's rubber of some kind. So that must have been leaking. A random wire hanging out. It's missing the back plastics. The rear shock is gone. There's nothing there. Very pogo sticky. So we're going to tear into it and see if we can't figure out what's going on. It does have a FMF pipe, but it's got a big crack on the arrestor, and it's got a separation real bad. It's missing some fasteners. So we'll dig into it, see if it's going to be worth anything. Like I said, I paid $300 for it. It's an old quad. I do like the Warriors. I like the way they look. When they're done. Not at this stage. At this stage, it's not looking real good, but we'll dig into it and see what we can come up with. So we got the old part off. You can see the crack right there. It's definitely all the way through, so this thing would have been running really lean, getting too much air. And here's the new one. It looks to be the same. So we'll go ahead and put that on, and we'll try to get the carburetor on. Yeah, the more I look at this thing, the more work it's going to need. I mean, look at the motor mounts here. Motor mounts are all busted, and all the slop down there in that one. But we'll get her fixed. Alright, well, let's get this thing back on, and then we'll try to put that carburetor on. Now, I got the new carburetor boot on, all torqued up. Now I'm going to try and get the carburetor on. The gasket for the carburetor, it's the old one. It looks like it'll work. If it runs rich or whatever, or lean, we'll have to probably change that out, but it feels like it's going to be okay. So we'll go ahead and get that put on, get it torqued up, and go from there. I am going to need a new throttle cable. This one's broken, so I have no throttle. I ordered a ignition switch. The ignition switch came in, it was the wrong part. This one's got a corroded power wire, broken. So hopefully this will be here in a couple days and we can try to put that on. It's missing the neutral light and the reverse light that goes up on the steering column there. I'll have to order one of those too if this thing runs and we decide we want to continue working on it. If it doesn't run and ends up we just scrap it out, then there's no need getting that. So the first thing we're going to do is try to get this thing running. I think it'll be okay once we get it going. Hopefully it'll run, hopefully it won't smoke. Hopefully it won't need too much. The reverse does work. It does shift in the reverse and forward. So that part's working. It's ugly. Like I said, I got the ugliest one I could find, and we'll see if we can make it look good. We'll probably have to do the marketplace overhaul and get some rattle can and paint the frame up and maybe find some rear plastics for it. Yeah, carburetor's installed. Looking pretty good. Got the new boot on there. And one of the other things I found while I was looking around is the voltage regulator. Has a wire that's broken on it as well, right here. So I ordered one off eBay. It came in, so we'll go ahead and stick that on. And it's one piece closer to trying to get this thing to run. Got the voltage regulator off. But the one I ordered is different. It's got a different connector. This one has two wires that come off, power and the ground. This connector, it's all into one connector. So completely different. So we'll have to go back to the eBay and see if we can't order us up another part and get this thing back on the trails again. Alright, so today we want to try to put some paint stripper on here and see if we can't remove some of this old camouflage paint that somebody had done. You can see it's on the wheels, it's on the frame, it's on the handlebars, it's on the brake levers, it's everywhere. I did some last night on these wheels. We'll have to do some more because there's still some stuck on there. So it's going to work, but it's going to take some time. What I'm using is some aircraft paint stripper. You can get it from O'Reilly's. I'm sure you can get it from AutoZone or Napa or something like that. I just put it into a container like this with a brush and brush it on, and then I'll let it sit for, I don't know, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then come back and pressure wash it off. Yeah, so hopefully my arm won't block you guys. But basically just take it, dip it in there, brush it on. You get it in all the cracks and everything. That way it can sit. I put it on pretty thick. I'm not sure exactly how thick it should be, but I kind of figure the thicker the better. The back wheels are the hardest because they're kind of narrow, kind of deep in there. Try to get it in, like I said, all the cracks. And it's probably going to take a couple times. I showed you the other side that we had done. And it didn't get it all. But we'll come back, like I said, and we'll hit it again. And just put it on everything. After about an hour, it should start bubbling. I don't really know on this thing what's painted, what's not, so we're just going to cover it all. Not going to get it all. It's not going to. A lot of cracks, stuff you can't get into. And you have to come back and use a brush or maybe a steel wool and scrub it off the rest of the way. But I'm going to keep doing this. I'll bring you guys back once it's all done, and then we'll let it sit. Alright, so I used up all the paint stripper that I had. You can see it's only been a couple minutes and it's already starting to peel the paint. So we're going to let that sit for an hour or so. I've got it sitting in the sun. I got the swing arm done, axles are done, caliper, the steps I guess for the feet, the case covers. I've done the front shocks. So we'll let it sit and we'll come back in about an hour and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, so I think we're going to end this video here. There's going to be probably 3 or 4 different parts to this video working on this 2003 Yamaha Warrior. I did work on taking the paint off. It is quite a process. As you can see, it's looking better, but it's still got a long ways to go. But I did get probably 70% of the paint off. It's going to take a lot more. You can see it's still all over the handlebars, on the steering stem. There's still some pieces on the plastic that need to come off. I mean, it did look like that. The whole thing was just spray painted the stupid color. And that green, that dark green, is hard to get off. You got it on the fuel tank here. It's in between the gap here. The case was spray painted black. I mean, it's slowly coming off, but it's on there pretty good. From a distance, it looks really good now. It's still missing the back plastic. Got the wheels looking pretty good. I did get the new voltage regulator. It is installed. I got a new battery for it. And like I said earlier, a couple of days ago, we did get the carburetor cleaned out and installed with the new boot. So I think our next step, probably the next video, will be me trying to get this thing to start. At least fire over. Because right now we still don't know if the engine's any good, if it'll run. But that's where we're at. So stay tuned, and the next video will be out soon. Thank you for watching.